Talk to Victor. Oh, so we actually have to talk. Wait. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this, but we have to wait to a certain time, till 8 o'clock. Hello, Baby Gang says, this is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Genshin Impact, and we are getting ready to do this trial, which I'm actually fairly nervous about, because it's just a whole new thing. Like, I don't know, like, there's new mechanics, there's new, like, characters. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the relationship between Lyney and the long arm of justice. I am very, very kind of nervous about this, but also excited too because it is something new. Fontaine so far has been a whole host of new things constantly. Do we have... We're so close to getting enough for another wish. Obviously, the next while we will be trying to get Hu Tao. That's who we're going to be trying to get over the next while. In fact, I think we actually have enough to buy... Is it time to buy some more wishes as well? Where is it Paimon's Bargains we have to go into? Not yet. I think it's going to be a few hours. 13 hours. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So tomorrow's episode, we can buy those wishes. Let's wait until 8 o'clock the next day. There's no point waiting around too much. So does it mean, can we wait until 8 till now? Because technically we have been here, or maybe it has to be literally the next day. Yes, it has to be the following day. Usually that's what next day means, Calvin, would you believe? Whoa. Did you see that? Oh my god, everything's kind of changed. They've moved around a bunch of stuff too. Do you see this? It's a trial room now. Holy F. They've cleaned up a lot of stuff too. Yeah. Oh my god. This is going to be crazy. Like I said, equal parts nervous, equal parts excited. And that's what's so good about this. It's a feeling of new. Let's see what this says. Oh, she still has the glasses on. Honestly, the glasses are freaking incredible. You know what I mean? Like, there's such... I love Paimon so much. I do have some thoughts, so let's keep things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Yeah, we have to take this step by step.
Just relax.
There's Navia.
Even if everyone else suspects Lyney and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them.
Yes, I'm glad we have Navi with us as well. Who I said last time, I still stand by it. A perfect design.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Yeah, I really did feel like Farina kind of like, not jumped the gun, but made that accusation kind of based on the moment or got caught up in the moment in a way.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be waiting then.
I can't get over it. It's such... I love Paimon. I love her.
Best of luck to you.
I love that Paimon loves the glasses too. Yeah, new mechanics with this with the investigation. I wonder how the trial's gonna go. Oh, there's Lynette and Lyney.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
You're surprisingly calm, but I kind of get that. Like, I think Lynette was talking about that with Lyney, how even though Lyney could be very nervous, he's very good at putting on that front of, like, being super confident.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
Do you like Paimon's glasses, though?
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Honestly, like, it's no problem whatsoever. You've been great to us so far.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed?
Oh my god.
Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed.
The voice in the distance already.
That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
This is going to be crazy, isn't it? This is going to be crazy.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
She like already loves the idea of a duel, a foe, right? The idea that we are like, you know, her like we're like already like rivals, right? I love it.
Since both parties
oh my God.
are present,
the presence of this man.
The trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Holy hell, there's people in the crowd too. He has such a presence to him. Such a presence.
In order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, Could we please have Mr. Lyney explain?
Oh, and he has to do it for the whole crowd. Oh, we can just do this at any time, by the way. That's super interesting.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
I guess we're going with that. Lyney clearly reveals the details of the magic trick. Everyone in the audience is stunned.
Thank you, Mr. Lyney. In that case, I
There's
take
music
your
as
statement
well.
to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
The music in Fontaine is incredible. Like, I think I talked about in the last one how, like, it just feels like this is my place. You know, it's like one of like the, like, it's so incredible. Like the vocals as well. The energy in this room already because of this trial, the presence that Nouvellette has, the nervousness about our defense, Farina's like, you know, like very flamboyant nature. All of this has like a presence and an energy about it that is like on, like we haven't seen anything before like this.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly lying.
Oh my god, a point.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
Oh my god. Like, just like the point, and like, again, like I'm gonna be like a broken record talking about like how much of a performer she is, right?
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is
Oh my
that
god!
So? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside
The transition.
your box?
The roaring countdown of the
Look at
crowd,
this.
of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear
This is so good.
anything
This is so
else
good.
at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No.
Look.
no.
I'm so happy because like I wanted it to be like, you know, I wanted it to feel different, and it's doing that right now.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
There's Navi as well.
Huh?
Oh, you didn't hear the thud?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, what? How could Lyney not know about the sound? Yeah, we heard, so Lyney didn't hear the sound.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Yeah, it was really loud. Oh,
Could those mean...
it's their stance. It's their stance on the trial. Oh my god, the scales of justice.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
Oh my god.
Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
Oh my god, she's such a natural up here. She really is such a natural. And like playing to the crowd. And it's so funny because like in like an actual lawyer has to do this in real life. And they're just kind of playing into that fact of like what like actual law is like now. Like obviously turning it up to 20 in their own way. Because it's not actually like how court systems are like now, right? Of course it's not. It's the Fontaine way of doing things. But like you have to get people on your side. You have to like, you know, be like almost confident and like very, very well presented with your answer. And what Farina's doing here is like getting the crowd on her side. It's, you know, being extremely confident. And like that comes from being a great performer as well. But also we know as well, Lyney is also a good performer, so that might play into that also.
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Wait. Oh my god. Oh no.
House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui? Wait, what? Wait,
No wonder
why
he
did we
did something like
Why
this.
did we know this? Why were we told this by Lyney and Lynette?
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui.
No, wait, what?
Now it all makes sense.
What? This would have been very useful information.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Wait, so the same place that... Oh my god, all those freaking... I can't. The same place Alfonso was from?
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Here's the thing, we have friends in the Fatui, we have people who've left the Fatui we love, right? But still, I didn't expect this. At all.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute.
Farina's very smart to bring this up that way. Because, like, obviously it shocked me, and I'm not even in the audience in the game, and I'm stunned. This is playing into the fact that, like, people don't trust the Fatui at all.
Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes.
She's a natural at this. Like, she's actually, like a natural. What she's doing here is so smart. Like, and again, it's playing to the crowd first, you know, with, like, little sprinkles of facts, like, mixed between. But this Fatui thing, man, like, I didn't know they were, like, from the House of Hearth. I didn't know they were, like, you know, I don't know. I didn't know that at all. I didn't even have an inkling of that.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted?
Wait.
Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too
What was that?
easy.
Was that like your inner conscience or something?
Good thing I made all those preparations.
Wait.
Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really
Are they
paying
talking
off.
to her? Is like there's like an inner spirit inside of her? Oh, Lyney's feeling so. What? I don't know what that is. I'm sure we'll learn about it as time goes on.
Hey, Lyney, why didn't you tell us this before?
See, here's the thing. I think that, like, again, well, like I said, we have people in the Fatui we love, like Child. We have people like Vaughn who left the Fatui, right? 100%. We have people in the Fatui we absolutely despise, like Dotari, and people we didn't like at all, like Signora, right? I think obviously, like, it's a different situation on every time you look at it. But what Paimon's saying here is true. I feel like it's like, regardless of whether or not you, because I think you're good people. I think you are. Of course you are. I think it's important to know that, like, where your past isn't where you're going to end up now all the time. But, like, knowing this beforehand, it would be easier to, like, come up with not come up with something, but, like, to understand it, I guess. Leonette are Fatui. I think. I wonder if that's a simplification, though. I wonder if this is a simplification of what's happening.
Order! Order! Mr. Lyney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points.
This man's presence is shocking.
First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth.
Right, it was like Alfonso.
Are these claims true?
Oh no, Lyney. This is, again, it's just like, it's one of those things that, like I said, it's going to be hard to, like, get over for people. There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lyney has concealed his identity, this could all have been a setup beforehand. I don't want to think like this because we're in his defense right now. You know what I mean? Plus, Child is here in Fontaine with the other house operatives. There must be some scheme of work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before and now. And again, I think it's so fair for our character. I think it's so freaking fair for our character to sit here and be like, I've dealt with the Fatui before. I understand what they can be like, right? So I think it's so fair for us to be a bit worried about this too. Right?
Please answer my question, Mr. Lyney.
I'm sorry.
I can see in your eyes. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. There's a truth in his eyes. There really is. And you guys can see that too.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Excuse me, guys. This is a lot.
I knew it.
You knew it?
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing.
No, 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 we're not doing that at all.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor, yes.
Granted.
My client withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
Good. Adjournment. We have to discuss this stuff. We should be allowed to have a proper defense for this.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as
No, that's not
guilty.
that's not the way we're looking at this. Farina's so smart. Again, she understands this system better than everyone, I think. I think the way she did that was so smart.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
I don't think in the end, hopefully we'll find out that they felt it wasn't relevant. I know people are going to be like, you're looking at the bright side of things all the time. 110%. But it's shocked me too. You guys know it shocked me too. I didn't know this at all.
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
Yeah.
This trial will reconvene in 1
Wow,
hour.
I didn't expect the trial to stop a little bit in.
So you would stick to Mr. Lyney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
We promised to defend him, right? And I still believe in Lyney and Lynette that they didn't do this. I don't know how, But again, as I said, this is an insult to Farina. I think Farina has played this so well. I think that's just, again, if you're playing the system and if you understand the system, what she's doing now is she knows the crowd, how to work a crowd. She's a performer. She understands this.
In that case, my dear audience, let's
See?
allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while
See,
longer.
exactly. She is so good at this. With her beautiful hair.
Well, this
A little
is
bit.
awkward.
A little bit.
I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
That was my assumption, that you thought that this wouldn't come up at all.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
I think we have a right to be a little bit upset, right? We definitely do. Of course.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's your personal business, right? I genuinely think that. I think the reason I say we have a right to this would have been great to know beforehand, but if it's something that hurts you as well as something that bothers you, we don't know how they feel about this or what is going on with that situation. So I also feel weird kind of being like, tell me, you know, it's a very tough situation.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two.
The glasses are off for Paimon.
We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
That has to hurt. That phrase, bad guys. Do you hear this music? It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it definitely feels, it's a feeling of a different tone.
Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
Yeah, and again, Paimon took off the glasses.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Yeah. But it depends on the context for me, usually.
But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
100%. You are right. You are correct. We are literally friend with a Harbinger, and a former one.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
Wait, super interesting.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
The disaster that people might face.
I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. Are you kidding me?
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead.
Honestly, I don't think you understand how understanding the Traveler is, I guess. I think, you probably only hear the stories, but that we fought the Vatui. We are friends with a lot of people who have done some bad things.
The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie? Interesting question.
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
maybe I'm naive. Maybe okay, they turned the lights on us, okay. Maybe I'm naive on this, right? And I could be naive. And maybe, you know, people can be like soft Calvin or whatever. But I feel more bad for them than anything. Like this is to have this information revealed about you in front of an entire court, it has to be upsetting, you know? And I understand as well, like, there's also the other side of things where, like, people, of course, don't trust the Fatui. There's people who have had terrible run-ins with the Fatui. You know, there's Fatui members who've done horrible stuff. So, like, and I feel like, you know, you look at someone like Dotori, right? Who has given such a bad name, I think, to, like, everyone else in the Fatui that it's impossible for people to trust anyone in the Fatui, right? But I sense the good in these characters. You know, I sense the good in them.
You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
Lynette's staring at Lyney as he says this.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Man, that, like, I don't know why, like, again, maybe it is because, like, people are gonna be like, oh, like, your rose-tinted glasses, you're too soft. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I look at this from the perspective where I'm like, I do feel bad, right? I do. I don't know, like, I think there's equal parts, like, Farina's so smart to bring this up during a trial, right? Because if they are related to the Fatui, that is something that, like, everyone is going to be like, what the hell? And also at the same time, like, I sense the good in these characters. I really do.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. That's fair. It's totally fair. I think that it's totally fair how Paimon and the Traveler are reacting. Where did you actually go while the trick is being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Yeah. I think just telling the truth is the best option. It really is.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Interesting.
During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
Wait, so that's what they were doing?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the
That's so smart.
box.
That's so freaking smart.
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Whose?
Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room.
That's nerve-wracking.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Of course, if you're caught doing that, like, it's a whole different can of worms being opened, right? You can't put that back. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube at that point.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Okay.
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Why do you want to understand the Oratrice, how the Oratrice operates? My guess is, and I could be wrong, it's the same thing that Navia is talking about. I wonder if some people don't necessarily agree with the way that justice is carried out in Fontaine, but I could be wrong.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this
Okay, it's about the okay.
in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Okay, so I thought it was maybe the other thing, but I guess it is like they were talking about the crisis when we started this. That was the first thing we talked with Lynette about.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
And it's interesting because we know this, by the way, like, and it's one of those things that like already lines up with our preconceived notions. The idea that every Fatui member has a different philosophy and a different idea. They don't always work together. They don't always agree with each other. Yeah.
It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow
I know
your
what I would
lead
do.
however you choose.
I know what I would do. I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges. This is what I'm going with. I see like there's a beauty and there's like there's good in these characters' eyes. There's a good in their faces, their facial expressions, the way they act.
Okay, thank you.
You know what I mean? I can feel it.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
It's no issue.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against
Yep.
you two.
Yep, like I said, Farina is a natural at this.
If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need. I love Paimon, by the way. Like, we need a watertight defense. She's like not only a detective, she's also an ace attorney.
Huh?
The adjournment hall was over. Let's go back. So this whole thing that happened here was like unexpected like heck. I did not expect the Fatui to be brought up. I did not expect him to be like tied to the Fatui like that. To be from the House of Hearth, like we learned in the R&R mission and all this stuff. I didn't expect this at all. But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like I would be a massive hypocrite for giving other Fatui members a chance to explain themselves, as we have in the past, and not give these two characters who have been nothing but nice to us and have been nothing but like just courteous to us a chance as well.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Lyney's statement. Lyney's claims that he headed to the chamber containing the Oratory's core upon entering the tunnel and did not witness the crime taking place and thus did not hear the thud. The voice of the Oratory's core chamber. Lyney claims to have heard a mysterious voice with the chamber that houses the Oratory's core within the Opera House underground structures. Interesting. Continue taking part in the trial. Look at this room, by the way. Yeah, this is tough. It's tough. And like I think like, you know, everyone's gonna have a different interpretation of like how they feel about this, right? For me, like Genshin is never about a one-sided coin, right? It's always about two sides. It's always about like the dimensions of something. Genshin is a cube rather than being a square. Genshin has always been that. I feel like if you look at this from one vantage point, you're not gonna get the full view. And my perspective of this is Farina was like, I don't condemn Farina for bringing that up at all. Because I feel like that's just, again, incredibly smart. Farina knows Fontaine clearly better than most people. And then I look at it from the perspective on another side as well, when it's also going to be a very upsetting thing for people to learn about in front of everybody, especially if this is information that you are withholding because you know how people will think about you. Then you also look at it from the crowd's perspective where it's like, of course they won't trust the Fatui. And you look at them from Paimon and our perspective, of course it's natural to like to suspect the Fatui. How many times have we been like dealing with them constantly? Up until recently, with the Good and Evil quest, to the Jet quest. You know, there's members of the Fatui who have done horrible stuff to the point that, like, if I saw one of them, and you know who...
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is.
Exactly.
If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem.
Let's check this out. Yeah, that's my perspective on this. The brief adjournment ends and the nail-biting trial reconvenes.
Both parties have returned to their positions.
Oh, look at this.
Let us continue the trial.
The way they present this is incredible, and the way they shoot Nouvellette. I know they pronounce it Furby sometimes, and I still get it wrong. Is very interesting. There's a lot of from below shots to show how like imposing he truly is in this.
When last we left off, Mr. Lyney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
The smile. She actually looks fantastic. Like, it's a fantastic design. The Fatui designs are some of my favorites. Sorry, Fatui. If I have Fatui on the brain. The Fontaine designs.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective.
Look at this. The way they're I'm so glad they're presenting the trial against. Look at the smile as well, the side smile. Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loophole. Are you serious? Are you joking me? Are you joking me? Use the evidence as clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of facts and replace them with new inferences. Use refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. The oratrice will display such shifts clearly. When you find or refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. This is so... Oh my god! Look at the UI!
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Okay.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box
Look at this.
and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud.
But he didn't even hear the thud, though. He didn't even hear the thud.
He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out.
Jesus!
Before making her change clothes to prevent others
I don't
from
think he would have done that.
recognizing her.
I don't think he would have done that at all.
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Lyney red-handed.
And then you think he killed Cowell that way? Look at the way they aggressively drew him here as well. The UI in this is fantastic.
So Lyney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Lyney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
This is... I'm sorry, but I keep saying it. The presentation of this is astounding. It's beautiful.
And there you
Look
have
at this!
it.
With the
That's
artwork
the
as well?
truth behind what happened.
It's actually like... It's crazy that the first time we see this beautiful art in this game is actually through like very horrific means, you know what I mean? Actually very, very dark as well.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
I mean, we're gonna try. No, I can't get over this. And like the way they drew Lyney in the bottom left one is insane to me. Right? It's not the Lyney we have come to see and know so far, right?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Lyney experienced and what he saw.
We're getting Zack voice acting too? So we know this happened, right? Lyney went down to the tunnel, so we know this is true. And then it goes to... Lyney attacked... The loud sound was from Lyney... No, because... So do you identify a loophole? He did not hear the thud. He couldn't have heard the thud.
According to Lyney,
Yeah.
he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
That as well. I was thinking of the thud. Okay. Yeah. And then we have what? Lyney kidnapped Halsey. Lyney knocked Halsey out using the vase and removed her clothes. He would never do this. However, was Lyney really in the tunnel at the time? We know if he escaped. So what do we do with that? We have exits, enters, no one left with the voice. We have the young lady's clothes and the... so they give us limited options, thank God. So no one left the opera house during the magic show, and after the incidents happened, only those who had their identities cleared by the guards could leave. Lyney claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that the House of Oratory's core within the opera's underground structure. We know he left because of the voice, right? He already left. He heard a voice. So did we say that? Because no one answered. That's not it. Lyney was very confused when he saw them. It could be that, but that doesn't prove that he... I don't know. I'm thinking what do we do because he left, right? He wasn't there. So it's either this or this. And then the last one is strange sound. During the switching performance, there was an audible thump. There, that doesn't... I don't think that applies to much here unless we're saying it was this. Hold on a second. What's this one? Cowell walked in on Lyney, so the latter knocked him out with the vase, leading to his victim's death. The existing evidence indicates that when Lyney returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place. All that Lyney saw was... Oh! That's what he saw.
Lyney did not take part in the underground altercation.
Yeah, perfect.
He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. And then this one would then have to be this then. Right, because it says here, however, there was Lyney at the tunnel at the time, we know he left because of the voice.
Lyney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. this is the
Oh my god, we're getting so
truth.
much sack voice. There we go. Okay, awesome. And it changes.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say.
Oh my god, Paimon, yes! Yes, Paimon, give Paimon her time.
When the countdown started,
Yes,
Lyney
Paimon!
did indeed go into the tunnel.
I love this for Paimon, I love it.
But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored.
This is, oh, look at, yeah, like, and like, it like changes, just like in people's minds, if you can do this, the events change in people's minds. Look, it's like, okay, now this is what people will see instead. You have to paint that picture for them.
Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room.
the tone of voice.
Something was amiss. He returned immediately.
Oh my god, Paimon, you're a natural at this. Frida, you might have met your biggest rival. You might have met your biggest rival.
The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time.
Yes, because he would have to show him back up in the box.
Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Oh my god, Paimon, well done. Awesome. So much fun. Successful refutation. Yeah, so you don't have to do all of them, which is good. Which is very good. I love that. I absolutely love that. I adored it. And we leave? Okay. I had so much fun with that.
Paimon
Oh, the glasses are back on.
Paimon actually managed to
The red cheeks.
Wasn't it awesome?
Paimon, you did fantastic. You are the best detective who ever lived.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Yes, I like that when Frida does that tone, I'm like, what are you going to say next?
That's right.
Moreover, I believe the opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with a premeditated fashion. However, you can say that Cowell bumped into Lyney by chance. Yes, because if the ropes were made of a different material and they were meant to fall on top of Cowell, how would that make sense? Yeah.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
Exactly. Like, it wouldn't have killed anybody. You wouldn't need to kill anybody. Paimon, look at this. Look at this. Look at the Ace Detective.
Assuming that what you say is true,
Oh my god.
Lyney only needed to kidnap the young girl
Look what she's doing.
to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
She's incredible. That's what the crowd should be saying right now. Look at her.
Oh, they have a point.
She has a point, doesn't she?
That's
Oh, look
right,
at you.
Tell him. And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
I keep saying, but look at this perfect design. And she's on our side. I adore her.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you
Oh,
that.
the letterbox.
But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Lyney's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic
Look at this
box
scene.
the whole time,
Look at this.
How could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Oh, I love the transitions. You're saying that he wasn't. Your claim has now become my weapon. Your claim has become a critical clue. Should we play up the fact? Like, again, we're in a performance, right? Choose the reasonable evidence? Huh? So which evidence, which is the evidence that Lyney wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? So you have to choose a piece of evidence that shows he wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place. I'm trying to go down. Oh no, it's wait. Oh no, you go to the side then down. Okay. So we have the deceased identity. That won't be it. Information about missing lady's identity. That won't be it because it's just it doesn't prove anything about where they were. Strange sound during the magic show. During the switching performance, there was an audible thump that many audience members heard. We have entrances and exits to the opera house. No one left the opera house during the magic show, and after the incident happened, only those who had their identities cleared by the guards could leave. I don't think that's it either. And we can't. These are only they only show us relevant ones. That's so nice. So it can't be this one. I don't think it's this one, so it's this one? During the switch before, so it's, what wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? Wait, so how would that work? How would that work? Because entrances and exits shows no one exited, right? But that doesn't show anything. That just shows, like, what the front entrance is, right? And the Opera House? I think by default it would be this, but can we choose these? Are these all irrelevant? They are. Okay, so by default, I think it will try strange sound.
That's right! Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything.
Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry, I was a bit confused on that one.
This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the basement via the vent.
And she says via as well, by the way. Fancy.
The same clue you used to disprove
Oh my god.
has now become the best proof. How do you like that?
Oh my god. Detective Paimon, the best in the world.
Well played.
Thank you, Navia. She's amazing.
To think you'd use such logic.
Here's the spear thing again.
Well then, if it wasn't Lyney who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The murderer, wait, what? Select the gear funds to interfere with the corresponding case questions. Select answer and fill in the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you've made mistakes, you must make another selection from your remaining options. Okay. Once you've answered all questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. Oh, look at this UI as well. The guard's investigation report indicates that fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope, suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. If Lyney is no longer on suspicion, only the members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was... I'm listening to the music. It's freaking glorious. It's so good. Then he gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box to contain the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath. And Lyney himself would have also used this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge on stage charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Select any clue to view detailed information. So we have...
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yep, 100%. The only other person I was thinking of that could do it was... That's Lynette.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
No. I don't think so.
Could there have been a third person involved?
No.
Is that really a possibility?
I think it has to be someone they did wait, switch to another question? Oh, these questions are already answered though, right? Are they?
The deceased's name is
Oh, select clue. Yeah, Cowell. Cowell's the only other person who could have done this. So that's pretty fun.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
I'm so glad you said that with such confidence, by the way.
Oh, is that so? How interesting. Let's hear your reasoning then.
She's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Right. Oh, so we have to... Okay. Select any clue to view detailed information. We have to make like like this time we have to do it ourselves and make a through line, I suppose. So how can we envisage Lyney as having been unable to interfere with the crime? Because they were in... Okay, let's look at all these then. But they couldn't have like actually done anything at the time of the thing falling, right? Because they weren't on the actual stage. They didn't deal with the on-stage stuff.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Right.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
So here's the thing, right? The way you look at this, and I'm doing it very Ace Attorney style, you don't just look at the evidence as like pieces of material or just like different things that someone said at any one point. Every single thing has a meaning as to why it could affect the case and to an individual person that we're trying to question here. Like if you look at the dress, this shows that he saw the aftermath but didn't actually take off the dress off the person or steal the dress or change the clothes of the person, right? Just like here we have...
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
But he didn't hear that sound. And then we have...
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
And there we go. How could he interfere with the crime if he wasn't in the tunnel? How can it prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel? The sound, right?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between...
Yeah. Who's the prime suspect currently? Do we say it's Cowell or do we say it's Lyney? But I suppose in question now it's... like, Cowell.
The deceased's
right?
name is...
And then, where did the missing Halsey go? Wait, what? What do you mean?
No one entered or...
So it's not that. It's one of these three. It's either the dress...
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract
This music's
attention.
incredible. And there's a new one here.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lyney as well.
Yeah. So it's not the vent...
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
Do we say
there
this?
Must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
And what's the first one?
No one entered or left the...
Yeah, I don't... So they couldn't have, like, as I said here, right? Do we say this here? Or do we say the vent?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lyney
That's
as
the
well.
thing. I'm a little bit confused on this one. So do I the dress would say that, like, again, like we said, the dress is more about... Yeah, I don't know. We'll go with maybe the dress because he couldn't have fit into the television. Maybe there's something I'm missing from this.
Clothing was in the
We can try it. Okay, so it's not correct. Okay. And then we have...
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So where would the criminal...
So the vent?
It would have been tough for both...
What is how? Wait, so it's this? How?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances.
How is that? Wait, what? How is this? Tell me now. The criminal understood the methods behind Lydia's magic trick and must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Do you hear this music? Cowell had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noise likely would have been the sound of Cowell and Halsey struggling. Lyney was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cowell to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house. So even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that it would be discovered. Yes, and they're watching out for anything.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Yeah, so none of the answers were correct. Where did Halsey go? Oh, the laugh.
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. but it seems
Jesus.
you're still far.
It's
from
very
the
Ace Attorney, right? The idea of like doing a bluff but then getting called out for it by the opposing lawyer.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Yeah, no, fair.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
I think that's gonna be a big deal. A big deal.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic escaping from the water tank? Wait, could it have been the water? And that's where the water was there?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
Well, this is what Navia's talking about. We need to find the truth. The performance is great, but we need to find the truth of this. Oh, Lord, look at that. It's gone up 2.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage.
Oh, and that's fair if you do have to do that, but we have to. Oh, look at that. Hold on a second. Objection.
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes.
The sound we heard may have come from.
Oh my God, we did an objection. That's awesome.
Halsey and the criminal.
Hold it.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
I can't believe we're doing this. I can't believe we're even here. This is incredible. So they mentioned the water, the vase?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Oh my God, so they were trying to say the water came from the vase. Yes. Oh my God. What a freaking find. What a find.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
Yes.
Lynette escaped
They used
from
the magic
water,
trick?
vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
It was... Paimon, yes. Yes.
If
You
there's
incredible
a similar
Paimon.
method where a person could be transformed into water.
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Yeah, again, I keep saying it. I think this girl is fabulous. I think she's so good at this, right? She sensed that we were like coming up with something, right? And the best way to do that is to like make sure that the audience knows that this is crazy right away, right? This is like, and I know I bring it up Ace Attorney. This is a very like, is an edge work tactic where it's like, okay, this is insane. You know, this is insane, audience.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects. We might find something there, okay?
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lyney already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
Her voice actor as well. I don't know. I hope they paid her double.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
Thank you, Lyney. Look at this! Beautiful!
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on it.
Yes, of course.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
I'm sorry as well. Look at these like shots they have during this trial as well. Like they're so good.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney.
Oh
Since
my
the
God.
trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us
Look
make more
at this
progress.
man. Look at this. Appreciating him more and more every single episode.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
This whole segment, even though it's very dark and we found a lot of dark stuff,
We are still
10 out of
examining
10.
the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Oh yeah? Sure.
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Fluid?
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
Primordial?
The primordial sea.
What are we talking about?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell is going on?
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
What?
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
So he used it. Esmond, thank you so much.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Wait. What if that's not what they're doing with the girls? What if they're using the girls as test subjects? Oh my god.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Oh my freaking lord. Are you kidding me?
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Man, here's the thing. Before I started Genshin, I'd be in your shoes. I've seen some crazy stuff in this game. I've walked through dreams. I've literally walked through dreams. I've stood on a dragon's back. I've seen ghosts from the past through purple filth. I am willing to believe this.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
You have evidence backing it up now, guys.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two...
She's found out something as well.
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just
No,
trust me.
yeah, go. No, I trust Navia as well because I think Navia, like, again, I know people, but you're too trusting. I think Navia has something to do. I don't think it's good.
Order!
Okay. I'm not even joking. When he hit the thing off the ground, I felt like this chill go up to the diagonally up my shoulders.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues.
There's no doubt the way they're filming this guy is right up from below. Presence is 10 out of 10.
Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines.
It's nice as well. It's very rare in an Ace Attorney game to have guards that are actually competent. Thank you very much for actually doing your job and finding something useful. Thank you.
Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor.
Go on, Lyney.
If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal heart! That one didn't make sense at all.
I keep getting like delightfully jump scared. Not even jump scared, laughed by Paimon's glasses.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
There we go. Liquid in the guards found in Cowell's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontanians into water, which is insane. It is insane. I understand from the audience perspective. Huh? Who's the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to
I
tamper
love this
with
music.
the equipment.
This is a different game. I'm in a different place right now. What item did the company use to control the timing of the dissolution? The timing of this?
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Okay, so it could be this? So, what's this?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Wait. Hold on, can I go back?
The deceased's name is Cal.
Sorry. A
The rope that held the
triggering...
water tank up was lit by the firework.
The timing. They said timing, so it could be this instead. Because they said timing, and that here is...
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Just like Ace Attorney, you gotta look at the keywords. Then this for dissolving.
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Get in there, get in the evidence. What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime? So it's...
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
No.
Did she have
I
something
refuse.
to do with this?
I refuse.
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
So, again, process of elimination, it's not this. You can't hide something with the rope. So it has to be the box. There we go. Awesome. This is so much fun. It's so good. Greatest minigame of all time.
It's Detective Paimon's time to shine!
Yeah! Let's go!
In the
I love her.
original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target.
Look at the evil face they have in the reminiscing part of this.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered,
Oh, I love the artwork.
metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
Honestly, Paimon, well done. Even if it's not true, well done.
Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Paimon's voice actor understood the assignment. This is so freaking funny and good. Like, in such a serious situation, adding such levity to it, because, again, we adore Paimon, and Paimon's having the time of their lives.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Did we get... Yes!
Oh dear, what do I do?
Oh, wow.
Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
So that confirms it. Like, I guess, like, they are, like, trying to, like, kind of, like, convince themselves in a way that they are, like, themselves also that Lyney is guilty. But I wonder if this is like, it's very, like, we haven't seen this self-reflective conscious stuff ever in this game so far.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Did they find something?
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
What is it?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
Yeah?
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among
No!
Lyney's personal effects.
No!
What?
No, that had to be planted. What are you doing?
That can't be.
Oh, no.
Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you.
This is not good. Someone must have planted it then.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance,
This performance.
to a swift close.
I am so nervous. Oh god, we're back with this stuff again. The UI is beautiful, but oh my god, how are we gonna...
He did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
This is where things get tough.
But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
What?
Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon.
I refuse to believe it.
Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
And then bringing back the Fatui again. Like, I hope no one, actually, no, it doesn't matter if people are upset with this. It's the freaking truth. She's fantastic at this, right? I was gonna say, oh, don't be giving her so much praise. She's bigger than Fatui, and, she's probably wrong. But I don't think anyone would. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, she is fantastic at what she does here. Look at this line here, just in general. It's like, hey, trying to play to the audience. I understand that this is boring. It's a boring conclusion. It's straightforward. And it's like, I understand as well that, the Fatui are so ruthless. You know they're ruthless, right? Like, she is playing to the audience because she knows how to do that. And she's fantastic at it. Factually so. She is so good at this.
Am I right, Mr. Lyney?
And look, again, putting the pressure on as well, you know?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no
What?
way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Can someone tell me who did the artwork for this as well? Because it's fantastic. If there is someone out there who did the artwork for this. That is a tilt.
I can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
Especially with it being planted on, it's like they knew we would use this somehow. Whoever...
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view,
Wait, does he know something?
Excuse me, everyone.
Oh, it's Navia.
Interject.
So Navia investigated something.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect.
I get chills every time he speaks. Are you serious?
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Huh?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared
What?
back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
What?
Please, do the honors, Mr. Lyney.
What is she
if you would
doing?
be so kind. What in the world is she saying?
I have no idea.
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often
This is-
conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion.
I'm saying this right now to you guys. Top 10 things that can happen in a trial. Someone comes in at the last second and says, please, stop! Beautiful.
But once everyone believes the illusion,
Oh, they're
can't
setting it up as
magic
well.
reveal the truth to them once again?
This music's awesome.
And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance?
Finale? We're done?
Come on, Lyney and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
Wait, so he's gonna do a magic trick to end this all? The court system really is a performance.
But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Oh god, he's gonna do a performance. This is incredible. This is incredible. And a click of the fingers.
And voila.
With the lights? What? Yeah, me too.
Sorry for the interruption.
What the Halsey? What do you mean? Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
But where were you?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my
Wait, she was involved. Oh my god, I thought she wasn't at all.
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial.
What did you do?
I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
Navia. Navia realized this during the trial, didn't she?
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Oh my god, Navia, you saved the day.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
Why? Why would you do that?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
You're from Mond?
I heard that Lyney's show was going to be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one.
What? But wait.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before.
Okay. This music is also, it's so like, playful, like in a very eerie way.
But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
That's her! That's the girl that stole the stuff!
Hey, no wonder you look familiar.
All the way back then?
The thief.
That was the girl that we chased after.
Lyney even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me.
Was that intentional?
He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure.
But Lyney didn't mention this.
So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
Who's that? Was that
I
Cowl?
wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my
So that's why the clothes were
and hide in
there.
a box containing performance costumes.
Insane. I did not expect this ending.
I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they practice hand concealment, probably?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear.
So technically you didn't actually kill anyone. At all. But it would be technically like... I don't even think that would be considered manslaughter. Right? Well, maybe. Because you still knocked them out and put them in a position where they did die.
Had I known that,
No!
I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
No, I'm sorry. No, she was defending herself if that's the case. If what she's saying is true. No, that's different.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Okay, getting the Zach voice acting as well. This is awesome. This is so awesome. Like this, all of these turn of events. So we know this is true. We know Lyney entered the tunnel. Right? We know Lyney entered the tunnel. How would Halsey have reacted? So it's Cowl planned to use the prepared apparatus for the magic tricks to dissolve Halsey inside the magic box. As Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before all our eyes, Frida's conjecture no longer holds water. And how would Halsey have reacted when water from the power to sea suddenly began to trickle in? Infighting between Lyney and Cowl. Lyney wanted all the credit for the glory, wanted to get rid of all his partners, and Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before our eyes, and Frida's conjecture no longer holds water, but there is evidence proving that a fight did break out in the tunnel. But that was between... does it show it here? That was between them two, right? Did we show that somewhere? So we have the dropped hook. Like there's also an audible thump. So the thing they're saying is that fight did break out in the tunnel. And in the last one here as well, because we know this is true as well, the accident did happen and there's nothing here with Blue as well. We know these two are still true. Lyney knocked out Cowl out, then using the method used to dissolve the young girls, got rid of Cowl disguised as an accident, and Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before our eyes. After the fight, what did Halsey... So what did she do after that? And we have the dropped hook rope, random number selector, stage strange sound during the performance. We know that she put him in the thing, right? Oh yeah, she changed. She changed right after that. Yeah. Okay.
Lily Ann
Good.
was afraid that
Great.
she would be
Perfect. We have one
recognized if she
gone.
left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
So good. So good. So then this one here, we have the how Halsey would react when the water from the priority sea began to trickle in. So dropped hook, random number selection. So these two no, right? These two can't be. Well, there's a hook there, but yeah, these two can't be it. Then there's strange sound. During the switching performance, there's an audible thump that many audience heard. There's a broken vase. Wait, could it be? How would she have reacted? There was an audible thump. There's a broken vase. So it has to be, I think it has to be between these two then, right? Okay, then let's try to get this one then. There was evidence of a fight did break out. To me, then that says like the broken vase, because it's like there was something broken during a fight. That's the evidence. But I thought this was used for something different, but that's successfully refuted. Great.
Was not broken to cover anything
Yeah,
up.
okay, we were wrong about that, yeah.
Smashed during the struggle between Lily Ann and Cowl.
That's what was tripping me up, is the fact that it wasn't. Oh my god, look, that's horrible. Like, I don't care if she's a thief, right? You don't freaking try, like, unless I'm confused. Was he kidnapping her because, was he grabbing her because she was stealing stuff? Or was it because he's the kidnapper? The sound, right? Because the other two don't make sense with this one.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, the other two just make sense.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon!
Go on, Paimon!
Having been selected out of the blue, Lily Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all
Okay,
heard.
no, here's the thing. What happened was here. Yeah, no, we were right. Like, she may have been a thief, and she may have, like, stole her way into this stuff, and she stole stuff before. He was trying to use this primordial water, right?
Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover
Yeah.
that Lily Ann
Oh yeah, F him.
had not
F him. Throw a vase at him. Throw 10 vases at him.
He did not know that Lily Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief
Yes.
who made her way in by stealing a ticket.
So he was trying to dissolve her. So yeah, break him twice with 10 vases. Lock him in 20 boxes.
Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily Ann back into the box.
Jesus Christ. No, he's horrible. No, I'm sorry for even doubting her for a second. No, she's right to do what she did.
The flower vase during the struggle, but Lily Ann came out on top, knocking Cowl out and putting him in the box.
Yeah. No. Self-defense all the way. He was trying to dissolve her.
With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Engage. Well done, Paimon. No, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff here in this game. I'm never going to forget this. I'm never going to forget the stuff that happened here. Did not expect this at all. They did not need to do this. They could have had this just be one big cutscene and it would have still been amazing with all this twists and turns and stuff like this. But they actually just involved us in this and it was so fantastic.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
The voice acting is so good. Paimon, I'm so proud of you. Still though, I think like it's okay. Okay, yeah, she stole stuff. Yes, she put the person in the box. She was also about to be dissolved. So I think there's maybe some forgiveness that we can do.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
That was her?
Talk about a sneaky thief.
How?
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
I'm never gonna get over Paimon acting like this. It's the greatest thing ever.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Is it not that interesting to you guys?
Bravo!
Oh, it is, okay.
Bravo!
Wow. Holy hell, the last one's gonna arrive too, is it?
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's
Whoa, she
statement?
can still speak back, right? Oh. We've never seen her like this in like, I guess in like stuck for words so far.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended.
Oh, she's tried to leave.
As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the
Oh,
proceedings have concluded.
wow. I have a thing or two to think about that. Do you think she's trying to leave because of the embarrassment of maybe losing a trial? And she puts so much stock in the idea of her being a fantastic performer and fantastic at these trials that she doesn't want to be around when the actual conclusion happens. It might be a feeling of embarrassment for her.
What? Are you reading my mind now?
I think he saw you trying to run away.
No. I have no
There it is, yep.
arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
I don't think Nuvi's a big fan of you. I'll be honest with you, Farina.
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
Yeah, and I understand as well. Again, coming from this all perspectives, like we said, Genshin is a cube. It's not a square. I still feel bad. It's very clear that she put so much stock in the idea of these performances and people looking up to her for these performances. Like, that is a reaction that is not even thought through. It's almost like a fight or flight thing. I'm running as soon as possible so I don't have to face the embarrassment of losing this. That's horrible.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
Yeah?
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances,
Oh, wow.
selected his next victim from the audience reservation list.
Awful person.
With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved.
Real dirtbag, right? That's what I'm saying. Just let the thief go, man, at this stage. You know, get the stuff she stole, maybe give back to the people she stole from, but like, you know, I don't know. I'm not... Yeah.
He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the water.
This is a pretty cool presentation as well.
He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise.
And that's what the thud was.
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed.
He's a dirtbag. He's an absolute dirtbag. Awful.
However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
Get him. Absolutely get him. You had every right to that. Why? Don't be upset. Well, she should be upset because she just got attacked. But yeah, throw him in the box.
Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house.
What happened here was very simple. He preyed on women that he felt that he could overpower, he could fight. But this is, again, I'm sorry, but like this is like, you know, just like in the real world, like you're gonna pick a fight with someone who can fight back eventually, and that's what happened. Now again, he victimized people, and he got what was coming to him. That's what happened here. He tried to dissolve her. You get what I'm saying? I don't really give a damn if she was like a thief right now, you know?
As for Lyney, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Yes! Oh, it's so good.
While there is much in Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately...
No, there isn't. Who said that? It was me.
This case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Still handing it over to the Oratrice, by the way. It's like open and shut, right? It's open and shut. Look at this. Look, it's like a little freaking message.
As such, Lyney and Lynette are officially declared not
Yes,
guilty.
it feels so good. Not guilty's always feel amazing. Yes, Paimon, it was all Paimon.
Great work, partners.
Navia saved the day. Navia.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet. I'm sorry, but like Paimon took off the glasses. It's Paimon. You deserve to bask in the glasses a little bit longer, okay?
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lyney's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
Do you see what Farina is trying to do now as well? And this is why I already feel terrible for this character, and I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about her as we're going along. Farina right now saw an opportunity to save a bit of, what she believes is save a little bit of her reputation. It was you! Yes, the false evidence!
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes?
Nouvellette!
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Look at those eyes.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town?
I was just following
And you tried to frame Lyney.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
But to me, that falls on deaf ears. Like, to me, that's even more horrible, because it's like, yes, Lyney would be blamed, which is horrific, right? But then, do you know how many times things get blamed on the Fatui, and there's only a handful of people who are actually doing something to counteract that stuff, like, effectively? It becomes like a boogeyman story then. Well, that's the Fatui. You know, the Fatui are doing that. You know? And people can use that for anything, you know? Oh, well, you know, someone destroyed my cart. Well, there must have been the Fatui. You know? The way to stop the Fatui doing things is to fight them at the stuff they're actually doing. If you add stuff they're not actually doing, to me that's like, that just makes the waters muddy and makes anything that we have of progress trying to stop what the Fatui are actually doing much, much harder.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yep.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve.
Which is horrible.
It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
How could you even trust that?
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
The boss? What the hell? What the... That's what happens to them? He turned into water. He was about to say too much. What? He's just a puddle.
And now he can no longer talk.
Oh my god. Fontaine is a full-on mystery. This whole place is gonna be a freaking mystery.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act.
What the frick?
All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Yes, all the guards are under suspicion now. He just dissolved. He's a puddle on the table. However, nothing is found in the scene apart from liquid left behind after Vaughn dissolved. What?
So, we're just going back now?
That's a lot to see. The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore. But still, it's like, how do we get over that?
That's true, but
Traveler, Paimon! Please
Someone
wait.
just dissolved on stage. Oh, whoa.
Lyney.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't want to see anyone be false accused. I just wanted to be sure that we're squared. Both of these are very, not flippant, but they're very like, okay, we're done. Answers, right? Do you feel that way too, guys? I feel like it's like, this less so, I suppose. And I again, we love Aether, our Wanderer as well. I understand like where he's coming from.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Lyney this entire time.
I believe him. I do believe him. I have adored these characters. I sense the good in these characters.
As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me.
An orphan like him.
That's all.
The House of the Hearth, we know that once you're a part of the House of the Hearth, like, you have, like, hundreds of brothers and sisters. They become your blood.
That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then, too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Wait, the Knave. Which one is the Knave again? I thought that was the head first. Again, there's so many, of course. Like, we haven't met all of them as well.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story?
Of course.
It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets.
I'm gonna feel so bad, right?
To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
This is actually so sweet.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
That's so difficult. That's so difficult. Your decisions change based on the amount of money you have. And it's true, based on the way your life is, how lucky you are in life. Your decisions change, your perspective changes on the world. All of a sudden, decisions you wouldn't make before become like easier decisions to make. Not easier decisions to make, but to become more plausible.
Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
Crazy.
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
Lynette's face tells me that this is, and your face too tells me that it wasn't the absolute truth.
But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
And it's like, that's tough because you want to be grateful for having like a new home, but also at the same time, you want to feel wanted and loved.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Well, you're right, but you know what I mean? I just said the other aspect of it.
It took a while for me to realize just
how did Fremine come into the mix?
After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
What happened?
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts.
What happened?
The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Disgusting. A person is a gift, are they? Horrible. If he was here right now, I have no problem ripping him to shreds. Are you kidding me? Horrible.
No. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
I feel sick. This poor girl. Absolutely horrible.
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
My blood is boiling. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I feel angry, and I'm like have the feeling in like your chest before you start to cry.
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Good. Good. So the knave is a she.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
How
could this... Whatever the knave did to that person was too kind. Was too kind.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
Horrible stuff.
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
It's like they take it very seriously. And poor Lynette has to listen to all this again. I hope she's okay with with this being said. I really do. I really hope she was okay with this being said. Because this happened to her. I will... I'm sorry for, like, I'm just so... there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of sadness. I'm very, very angry for some reason, and not for some reason, I know the reason. This poor girl.
I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed.
Of course! You've already... At such a young age, you've already seen the darkest sides of the world. Because of that frickin' scumbag.
But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Absolutely good.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's all in the past, though. Here's the thing. I would never say that's all in the past. I'm going to say this was up because, like, I understand what he's saying. It's like, okay, look, no, like, you're doing stuff now. Like, I understand. Man, like, if something like that happened to me, like, and again, look at this from Lyney's perspective. What they basically, like, gave his sister up as a commodity to someone. There was other girls in the basement as well. He saw someone kill this person, save his sister, then punish the person who originally took him in as well. And are you telling me that nobody out there, especially at an impression, not even just an impression, like, you're not going to be like, well, at least this is more honest. It might be brutal, but it's honest. You know what I mean? Like, holy hell. Like, it's at least this person did something in my favor. That did something that I can believe in. The knave is after the Gnosis. I'm assuming that's what, like, if it's a Fatui member, that's what they're probably here for.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis's power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and
Wow.
save Fontaine.
Wow.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
What?
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy.
I'm so, like, again, you say you're so sorry for something that happened to these two, but, like, I could never, like, ever comprehend how they're feeling, and then having to recount this as well.
Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the Knave, has their roots in Fontaine, and we will always defend our homeland.
To me, like, it adds a whole another layer that I don't know. It's another layer to the Fatui. It's another layer to the House of Hearth. And it's another layer to Lyney and Lynette. And I believe them. I believe this line here. I will always defend my homeland.
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I can't still completely trust you. I mean, like, I think this is one of those times where we feel a bit separated from either, like, I think the word trust is not what I would bring into this. It's more of an acknowledgement of how much they went through. And an understanding of why they would join the House of the Hearth. But I think it's also important as well, I think, yes, from what Wander is saying as well, the idea that, like, yes, like, what happened was horrible. It's, like, also, like, do we know for a fact that this is what the Fatui want, right? Because things can change in a blink of an eye when it comes to Fatui. We've seen it happen several times.
It's alright, I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you.
It's so horrible. I'm just looking at the two of them now and, like, all they've been through. Like, I'm so, like, so angry, but so grateful that the Knave was even here. I know it sounds so weird. But I'm so grateful that we even got to meet these two wonderful people and that they turned out so amazingly. Because more horrible stuff has happened to people and they haven't come out like this. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. Everyone gets hurt by their past, and, like, of course they do. But I'm amazed at how, you know, I don't know. So sad. It's so anger inducing. It's so sad. I've never felt this angry and frustrated with tears playing this game. I really haven't.
I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
He's saying there's, like, a difference, you know, there's a difference between the two of them. Like, it's like for me, and again, I'm coming from my perspective. Like, if I was in his shoes and I saw the Knave save my sister like that, and here's the thing, we can all approach this, guys, from, like, a person with a controller in our hands, sitting here. I'm sitting here with my PS5 controller playing this game. We can all approach it like that, you know? And I don't do that with games. You put yourself in the shoes of the character. You understand where they come from. This is a real world we're looking into. This is a window. I don't see it as like this is just a game, because that's boring. Not only is it boring, but it's upsetting that I don't do that stuff. Everyone has their own way of looking at things. I'm not looking down at people that don't do that. For me, I look at this as they're real people, right? While I'm playing this game, just as when you watch a TV show, they're real people. The fact is, I would be indebted for the rest of my life to the Knave. Poor Lynette. Like, I understand. Jesus Christ.
Bye, Lyney.
I think we'll come around. I think we will come around. I think we will come around. Yeah, they're not letting us talk to him as well. That was a whole, like, to have to, and poor Lynette having to recount that as well. And I'm sure she get permission to Lyney. It's just like that Jesus. Just for them to follow us behind us, just to tell us that story. Oh, we have to tell them the story. And imagine the conversation they had as well. Was like, we have to tell him, you know? Are you sure? Yes, we have to tell him. That's a story that is hers. That's her story. And all of that, like, got brought back up today in this court case. And you're now looking at it from Navi's perspective of what, like, this court system can do. There she is. Sweetheart.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
I think Wanda was just done. I think he was so done.
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I'm sorry, Navia.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was only really trying to defend Lyney. I mean, I can help. I'd love to help.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
I mean, if Navia wants our help, I'll help Navia.
And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
It reminds me a little bit when we went to, like, Ayaka, right? And she had to convince us to join the revolution because, again, we were just like, because it's understandable, we're like, oh, like, well, this isn't our fight. Like, I, as Calvin, though, would love to help, would adore to help Navi with this, because especially since it's like, it would be for an amazing cause, you know? And especially with what we heard now with Lynette, like, for me, I would...
Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
No, you're fine. You're amazing.
Don't say that, Navia.
You're fantastic.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
No, you did amazing. You saved that day. You saved our day today.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clear. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind
You're
me.
fantastic. You're amazing.
Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners.
I mean, like, again, like, we know that, like, the best, like, companions that we found in this game are usually through trials and tribulations. And I really feel like it's you know, Navi is like one of those characters. I think out of all the characters so far we've met in Fontaine, we've met some amazing characters. But one difference is I feel like, you know, Navi, like, strangely enough, by the end of this, I feel like in terms of, like, how I feel, like, obviously I would love to be friends with Lyney and Lynette as well, Fremine, all those characters. I would love to get to know Farina. But the one who's, like, truly our friend by the end of all this is Navia.
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so.
You don't have to twist Paimon, son. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
And there it is, Act 1 complete. In such a, like, this was a powerful ending to the first act.
Following me.
To this first, the first act. This was, like, nothing I expected and exceeded anything I could have expected.
Following me.
this whole story, while it showed us so much about Fontaine, it showed us so much about the characters that we met in Fontaine, but the real reality of what it showed me about these characters is not cheery. We're coming away from the first act, the first chapter of this act, or the first act of this chapter, feeling rather melancholic, right? What happened here was we got to see the justice system where, as Navia said, we don't agree with every aspect of this. We got to see Farina, who was a character who was so wonderful to listen to and to see, but it's clear they have something inside their head, like a subconscious telling them something different than they're feeling all the time, maybe different feelings inside their head. They also seem to be a very self-conscious and dependent on like people's support or, I guess, love in a lot of ways, which is dangerous sometimes. Then we have Lyney and Lynette, who I dare even like. It feels even bad talking about their own story when they're not around even, you know what I mean? That's how attached you get. Like, that is a horrible thing to go through. And like I said, if the knave, when I was younger, if the knave came along and saved my freaking sister, yeah, House to Heart sounds much better than anything we've seen so far. They've seen a horrible life. The one thing that saved them first was a lie. Completely. We now also know that there's a water, from primordial water, that like is maybe linked to the prophecy of the idea that like people will die in the water, maybe drown in the water, maybe that's what it means. And there's also a secret plan to use that water, and they've been testing it on the young women around the place. We also met Navia as well, who is a fantastic character as well, who so far has been just, not just a perfect design, but like, I really feel like there's also like this connection here as well that like, you know, adds those layers that you want to make that cube that I was talking about. We have a character like Navia who doesn't believe in this system completely, that doesn't believe in the idea of the core. Sorry I'm doing this, by the way. I always move around when I'm talking. You know, she like doesn't believe fully in this system, just the way Nuvi doesn't fully believe in Farina. Just the way that like Lyney and Lynette also have people as well. We showed a lot of conflict here amongst the people of Fontaine, where everything looked kind of like a very pristine place when we first entered here. Very quickly, it, you know, took the lovely white sheet off the table and showed the reasons why they have the lovely white sheet on the table in a lot of ways. Fatui are involved in this too. There's going to be more stuff about the Gnosis. But for now, I'm going to say thank you so much to the Never Gonna Pay the Baby Gangsters here on Patreon. Actually, do we have enough for a wish on Hu Tao? We might as well to end this. A 4-star. We'll take a 4-star. Oh, actually, great. Really good. Actually, really, really good. And then we also got our... I don't know if we'll be done our commissions. That's the thing. I don't think we'll be done our commissions. Just being honest. Oh, we are. So just like doing that whole thing, give us commissions. And then we have this stuff as well. I rarely ever do this stuff, you know. Oh yeah, we finished one of the acts, so we'll actually have like
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world.
I agree. We'll have this. Oh, we have a wish. It's fate. It's fate. It's fate.
Even the wind.
We have to. Oh yeah. No, I thought I got one of those. Could you imagine? If that was that, that's insane. You know what I mean? I'm kind of glad it didn't, because then I'd be scared for the rest of the day. We're gonna, by the way, in the next one, I want to explore more of the water, and then obviously go on with some more quests. I want to learn more about this area. We're obviously gonna be exploring some other places too, but we will be going on with the quests and things like this also. The way I do things is the way I'm always gonna be doing things in these games, guys. Is that I am not, you know, and it sounds sometimes like I'm just like you know, it's like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. I play this game just the way I want to play it. That's it. You know, I play it the way I want to play it. And if that's not always enjoyable for people, I'm sure there's plenty of other Genshin playthroughs out there. And I appreciate your time being here. I appreciate your time when you're not here. Whatever you need to do, you do. Because I think the best thing for this playthrough is always for me to have the most fun as I'm doing this. And of course, we always take suggestions. We always have, as you guys know. Is there a fish market right here in the water? That's pretty cool. You guys can also like inform me if there's any world quests that you think are important. There's some shorter ones here, which seems as well just pretty cool. They're not as like they're not the Aranara ones, which are like gigantic as well. Fontaine so far has been absolutely beautiful. I would say that like for me, it's a perfect place. It's a place that was built for my tastes. I think you guys know from my like
Quit following me.
love for stuff that is like kind of flamboyant and kind of over the top and like just beautiful in terms of art style and everything. This is my place. But I'm definitely going to be heading off now and say thank you so much to Never Gonna Pay the Baby Gangster on Patreon. Thanks to Tyfire2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Anusa, Shabata Bread, Malcolm Day, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, and Yassassin. And guys, I feel like we could definitely do the thing for you guys now. Look at this place. Look at this place. Actually, you know who, since we're in Fontaine, hold on a second here. To do the thing, look at all these characters. Where's, because we have quite a few Fontaine characters.
Need to hire a duelist?
Clorint. You ready, Clorint? Look at this. Oh my god, so cool. Bah! The most destructive do the thing ever. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.